All right. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We got episode 12 of the Linux Tech and Gaming podcast. That's right, we've done 12 episodes. Count them on your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm out of fingers, but it's still episode 12. I'm excited for tonight's show. We got a whole new layout. We got a whole new process. It's like a brand new show as far as I'm concerned. And as usual, I have my two co-hosts with me. We got the Atomic Ass, and we got Osiris, the PC Pimp. How you guys doing tonight?
Swimmingly.
We're here.
All right. The normal speechless Atomic and Osiris is not very talkative tonight either, apparently. No, seriously. Guys, this is a new setup for us. So anybody that's watching live, we would greatly appreciate any feedback either in YouTube comments, in Hitbox comments, or in Twitch's comments. We should be live at each of those sites. So if for some reason you can't hear one of the hosts or the co-hosts or myself, please let us know. We'll try to adjust the volumes and get this stream nailed down. I'm super excited just because, it's taken a little bit of configuration, a little bit of testing, and a little bit of finagling, and a little bit of the moons just lining up just right.
And a little snorting coke.
And a little, long nights, long cocaine trains, and, here we are. So, as usual, we got our first segment of the show, and that is the Atomic Ass. He goes through a Linux game that he played and, gives us the good, the bad, and the ugly regarding that game. And, of course, we're talking a Linux game. So, Atomic Ass, what do you got for us this week?
Well, today I have Goat Simulator.
Okay, Goat Simulator. Well, tell us about it.
Well, it's kind of obvious. You play as a goat, and you fuck everything up. It's basically a ragdoll physics game, and you go around kicking and headbutting anything, and there's a variety of different things you can do in it. You can fly on a rocket. You can ride a bicycle. You can blow up a gas station by headbutting it.
Really? That's kind of nuts. Let me see if, let's see here. We got some Goat Simulator. Do we have a Goat Simulator video to play here? Let's take a peek here.
This game, I'm not certain of this, but it might support GPU accelerated physics on Linux.
Really?
Yeah.
Goat Simulator.
Yes, Goat Simulator.
It's the bee's knees. This was done by Ryan Gordon, a excellent and longtime Linux game porter. by a long time. I mean, since I believe the days of the Unreal Tournament days.
Oh, here's the gas station. That's what it feels like. I did have to enable GPU accelerated physics in an INI file in the game install directory, and then I had to crank up the physics in the actual game options. But it changed the way that the ragdoll physics worked. It was different. Ragdoll physics with the physics set to low in game had the people kind of glitching out and just going wild everywhere. Whereas with the physics turned up, it was kind of a more natural ragdoll. It's subtle. And I haven't played the game in Windows to see if that's the extent of what physics will do. So,
He says when you switch scenes, you lose audio. He says when you switch scenes, you lose audio.
you didn't add the audio sources to the scene. I can't do ratings. It's like I either like the game or not. Yeah, I'd buy it. Yeah. Well, I never buy anything full price. I would have picked it up for at least 50% off. Yeah, I'd buy it. I think it was right when it came out for Linux. They had a 50% off sale. So I was like, for Linux, 50% off? $5? Yes, buy that.
No, I have not played as a goat.
I haven't played as a goat yet. Not the same.
Hey, he says they can't hear you on the YouTube stream. Yes. No, this just came up.
You are not. Listen, you're not. I'm looking at the 3 panel, and you're not. You're not getting any audio there. What's up currently? I'm looking at the hitbox, so it's only a few seconds delayed.
He says when you switch scenes, you lose audio. Can't hear you. No audio. Or YouTube stream.
I can hear you through Skype.
No, we couldn't. I can't hear you on the stream. After all that, I can hear Atomic during the stream. We can't hear you. I mean, it might not make sense, but I can hear.
Neither.
I'm on YouTube and I can't hear you at all. But I can hear Atomics. It's awesome though.
All right. How about now? All I did was remove it and re-add it. It's the same sync.
Oh,
Hello.
give me a second.
Hello. YouTubes, can you hear me? The YouTubes, the hitboxes, the Twitter, the Twitches, can you hear me? Hello.
I can start to hear you through Hitbox now.
Okay. I wish somebody would have said something
There
sooner.
it goes. Yeah, I can hear him on YouTube.
So this whole show, we missed my voice the whole time. That sucks.
I don't think it was the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, he says he can hear you now.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, guys, for kind of coping with this transition here. I realize if I switch scenes right now, I realize my audio might not be there. So maybe we won't switch scenes. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
Instead of switching scenes, why don't you just go ahead and throw whatever it is you're trying to show on the scene we're using now, and we'll figure that other stuff out later.
That would be a better idea. Good idea.
Before we get into the first topic, though, if anyone out there has any questions for us, you can hit us up on Twitter. Use the hashtag Linux tag. You can see it in the lower right-hand corner there.
Yep, always. I mean, we're all three of us are, available at various times throughout the day. I'm usually on Twitter 24/7, besides when I'm sleeping, whereas Atomic might not be reachable when he's working. But and Osiris is available quite a bit. So, if you ever have questions, just tweet at one of us directly. Our links are in the description of the YouTube video, or obviously you can see our Twitter handles below our pictures. And then, in addition to using the handle, you can obviously use the hashtag, and we have Twitter lists set up for that hashtag. So, yeah, that's a good point, Atomic. Thank you for bringing that up. So, getting into our first topic is Trine Enchanted Edition maybe coming to Linux. Now, Trine 2 was published to Linux a while ago. I'm not quite sure how far back. It's been in Linux. Atomic and I have played it together, actually. I think...
Way back in 2013.
I was there.
Okay, and Osiris played a little bit with us. Yep, we finished Trine 2 on my either Twitch or Hitbox channel. We finished that game playing together. It's a lot of fun if you play it with friends. Well, anyway, the community, the Linux community, wants Trine 1, and the makers of Trine, they answered a question on the official Steam forum regarding the porting process, and from the looks of it, they are pretty close. So, they can say that the Linux version is already in pretty good shape, though it's not really ready to be published yet. So, it's going to be called Trine Enchanted Edition, and, I mean, that's great news. It's going to be coming to Linux. You guys going to pick it up? I mean, I know I had a blast in Trine 2.
I already have Trine 1, so
yeah,
is Trine
too.
Enchanted Edition...
No, I believe it will not. It's a totally different game, I believe.
Really?
Well, I believe that. I mean, the article says. Let's see. Yeah, Trine was originally released back in 2009, and it was ported for Linux players with the help of the Humble Bundle. Wait. Do they mean? I don't know. This article's on Softpedia, and they put in it, for some reason, they put Trine was released in 2009 and was ported to Linux with the help of the Humble Bundle. I think they... What the hell? Trine Enchanted Edition must be different. So,
Trine Enchanted Edition is a new version of the original Trine remade using the Trine 2 engine.
Okay. There you go. Thank you, Osiris.
It includes 15 challenging and carefully designed levels, each with distinctly unique atmosphere and visual style. Also brings the long-desired online gameplay with up to 3 players. This is from the company who made it, Frozen Bytes website. So it's a new game remade with the Trine 2 engine, kind of what they did with Metro Redux.
Oh,
isn't that beautiful? And then they added some content. So, which makes sense because Trine 2 engine works on Linux and cross-platform, and so if you want to make something work, use what you know.
Trine Enchanted Edition is already in your Steam library.
What? What is this madness you talking about?
They no longer show Trine number 1 in the Steam store. It now says Trine Enchanted Edition, so it looks like it is the same game.
Right.
It does not have the tux on the store page, though. So I guess we're still waiting on the beta.
Yeah, seems that way. But I don't have Trine 1 on Steam. I have Trine 1 on Good Old Games. So I should check that and see if that got the same treatment.
I would expect it would eventually.
Because if so, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce. How do I check? Oh, there we go. Let's see here. No, it's not Trine that I have. It's Torchlight. Well, that just makes me sad. Let me check my Steam also then. Watch I open.
The developers actually, responded to within the Steam community forum for the game Linux, under Trine within Steam, and the developer said it's not really new news, but I can tell you that the Linux version is already in pretty good shape, though not really ready to be published yet. At least so far, there haven't been really bad setbacks. And that was just on November 5th. So, 7 days ago, the developer, commented about it. So that's awesome. I know I had a blast playing Trine 2 with you guys. It seems really enjoyable playing with other friends. you know, it is only a 2D side scroller, but the graphics were just immensely insane. I thought.
I would say it's a 2.5D.
Okay, yeah, right. It's not really 2D because the graphics do have 3D shapes to kind of to them, but you can only go left and right, basically. You know,
It's a platformer.
Platformer, right? Yeah.
And I do have Trine. I lied.
It's 2D platforming stuck in a 3D environment.
There you go.
I looked at the Trine Enchanted trailer, and it looks like Trine 2. So they probably did a major graphics overhaul of Trine 1.
Yeah. So that covers that topic. The next topic that I wanted to go into was those of you that aren't familiar with the Raspberry Pi. It is a credit card sized computer that is bringing, you know, basically computers to the masses, and there's lots of you know, organizations out there that are utilizing the Raspberry Pi and like teaching kids to program and code. There's lots of other like organizations that are, because there's like a GPIO header on it, and you can attach like a camera to it, and like even I'm not sure how Barnacules did it, but he's a YouTuber, and Barnacules set up a camera that points at his 3D printer, and he can view the 3D the video, you know, from a web browser anywhere he has internet. So I don't know, you know, it's something similar. Think of the Raspberry Pi like this tiny little credit card sized computer. Here, I'll just share my screen with you guys. Let's try this here. I don't want to do that. I want to do add X composite capture browser.
Let me clear something up while you're doing that.
Yeah, go for it.
Dugan, Dugan, whatever. So if you have the first Trine already in your Steam library, you're going to be getting. Appears to be that you'll probably be getting the Enchanted Edition, I believe, for free. It'll just upgrade. Even if that's not true, even let's say you did have to buy it, it's not available for Linux natively. Trine 1 is not. So that's the reason why they would re-release the game and charge you more money, because the Linux market doesn't have that option yet. The same thing with Metro 2033. It's not available on Linux until they upgraded it through the Metro 2's game engine and made it available for Linux, which I guess is a good reason. Now for Windows users, yeah, it's pretty pointless. I wouldn't buy the game again if I was on Windows only and played Metro or Trine, because it's essentially the same game.
But it seems
prettier.
like they're not going the Metro route.
What do you mean?
I think that they're just updating the old Trine 1 with the Enchanted Edition.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I bought Trine 1, and I now have Trine Enchanted Edition.
Well, mine, does that stay that in your Steam library? Because mine just says Trine at the top.
I went to my Steam library, and it says Trine, but when I go to the store page, it says Trine Enchanted Edition.
Sure does. Well, hopefully that's what happens. If so, enjoy the free upgrades.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that.
So, I got on the screen right now the Raspberry Pi Model A Plus. Now, the main Raspberry Pi is Model B, and that comes with 512 megabits of RAM, an Ethernet port, you know, and some other things to it. Well, they came out with this Model A Plus, and it's actually $5 cheaper. And the reason is because it doesn't have an Ethernet port anymore, and it only has one USB port. And it only has 256 megabytes of RAM. So yes, the specs are, you know, a lot smaller or less than the Model B, It's just that they felt that they could release a different product, to get more people a computer basically for themselves. I mean, at $20 you can buy a Raspberry Pi. RS Electronics, I believe, is one of the distributors here in the U.S., and you can get yourself, a minuscule Linux desktop running on this thing. I believe they have default images of Debian. I'd have to double check. I don't have a Raspberry Pi myself. I've looked at getting one, and I just never pulled the trigger. But if I got one, it would be for 1080p. It would be for an HTPC. And there's actually software that has XBMC built into it, and the software is called RaspBMC. The developer is the same developer who makes Crystal Ubuntu, which is a Linux distribution. It's Ubuntu at its base, and then it auto-launches XBMC, and it works with the Crystal HD decoder from... I'm trying to think of the manufacturer of the Crystal HD decoder. Anyway, it's a hardware decoder so that it can decode, H.264 1080p on the original Apple TV. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic, but what I wanted to point out was that, Raspberry Pi, they released a Model A+, and it's $5 cheaper than the standard Raspberry Pi, and, it can give you basic computing power in this little tiny credit card sized computer, and it's amazing. I mean, it really is cool. It's an awesome project. If you've never heard of Raspberry Pi, and you want some kind of cheap little computer, say you have a family member that just does web browsing, email, and maybe a Word document, this thing would do all that right here. And this is all you would need. Except, you'd need the Model B because you need to have, obviously, internet connection. So you either need an Ethernet or you need to hook up a Wi-Fi adapter to the USB port. And since this one only has one USB port, you would have to figure out how to do that.
I think the point of this thing is to be more of a standalone device. Meaning, like, you can make a camera out of this. You can make a remote control car out of this. You could do...
Yes.
Something that's made just for it to stand alone.
Right. It doesn't need network connectivity. Right. I would agree with you. Yeah.
And it does have, and apparently it has Wi-Fi, or an option for Wi-Fi.
Okay. I don't know how I missed that. All right.
It's not in the article.
All right. So, I know it's not necessarily Linux news, but the Raspberry Pi, I believe the default images are... a form of Debian, so that's related to Linux. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. Thought it was awesome that they came out with a new model, and instead of making it, a bigger and better one and more expensive so they can make more money from you, they actually made it cheaper. I think the whole premise behind the Raspberry Pi is awesome, in my opinion. We're getting some kind of hissing or kind of low-level... There, it went away. What was that?
Kids in his water.
Oh, okay.
It was water running.
All right. All right, so I'm going to remove this window here. So, sorry about that stream. The stream had just this stupid window over all of our faces, and it looks really tacky and poor. But that's just... so that we have audio. So we're still, getting the stream all correctly done. So bear with us, everybody. So that covers that topic. Moving on to the next topic here, we have GNOME fights for free open source software against Groupon. I don't know if any of you guys had seen this. Those of you that are, Linuxers, basically Groupon was filing trademark applications for to trademark their device, which is like a point of sale type register. They were trying to name it GNOME. And it's like, what?
Why?
GNOME, yeah, what? GNOME has been around since 2006, I believe.
How long? It's been around
Well,
since
I'm sorry, it's been a
1996.
registered trademark. It's been a registered trademark since 2006.
I don't. Never mind. Well, first of all, I don't think
it was
like
created in 1997. GNOME was created in 1997 as the GNU Network Object Model Environment.
Okay, I was a year off.
The acronym is no longer used, but the project name is still stylized in all, the uppercase letters. And basically, Groupon. I could share this picture again here. I guess let's do it.
I thought after the Facebook fiasco with the Facebook games thing, what was the name of that game where they were trying to trademark some stupid name, some like common English word name? I thought you could not even trademark exclusively a common English word name. Like GNOME is not an exclusive thing of even the GNOME Foundation, so I don't understand what the issue really is here. There's got to be something deeper than just the name.
I mean, I don't know. Their product name was going to be called GNOME. It was a tablet-based point-of-sale, type device. I have it on the screen for the viewers to see what it looks like. It's an operating system for merchants to run their entire operation on. But basically, what happened was, GNOME, the foundation, open source foundation, FOSS, free open source software. They basically asked, the community, the Linux community, to help them to fight this. Basically, their legal team suggested that they would need around $80,000 to fight the initial 8 trademark, applications in court or something, or the original 10 applications to fight it. And basically, GNOME raised $87,000+ in a matter of whatever, let's say a day, or I don't even know, a very short amount of time, and was just basically showing its support of the open source community. That hey, you can't just push over an open source foundation, that we're not going to stand for this. And Groupon, has since completely removed all of their trademark applications and completely backed down and stopped, all this and everything. They're going to use a different name besides GNOME for their their platform. So, I mean, I think that's awesome that the community banded together, to fight against freaking Groupon, which is $2.5 billion company, or million, I don't know. They're a huge company. Yeah, $2.5 billion in annual revenue. Groupon is, and they were just trying to push over GNOME, take the GNOME name, and make it their new device, whatever.
Naughty.
I don't think this is insidious as it would seem. I just think that their legal team were dumb, and they used a word that everyone knows. They overlooked the most obvious, because I don't think they did their research. How could you not? And then the GNOME Foundation was like, hey, you dudes suck. It's our name. And it became that. But I still don't understand how can you trademark a common English word. They're
not trademarking a common English word. The trademark is of GNOME, the I don't know what you can. It's here. I clicked on the actual trademark. It says that it's a. Let's see.
I've looked all over this article. I don't understand. I want to know the details of this dispute, because they're not even in the same. At least in the United States, you can have the same name as long as you're not in the same business.
Right, but the thing was, Groupon was trying to create a tablet point-of-sale based device and / operating system and call it GNOME. It was just too similar. Sense. Yeah, it was just too similar.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think this is really that insidious on Groupon's part. I think they were just idiots, and then they were like, I mean, and then they were like, and they, like you said, they have plenty of money. So if they really wanted to fight the Gnome Foundation on this, they could have, but they backed down and left Gnome alone.
Right.
Thankfully,
Right.
they respected the Gnome Foundation's right to use the name.
Yeah.
And trademark.
Yeah. So that's is pretty big news in the open source community, I think. So I thought it would be good to share that with our viewers. So let's see here. Apparently, I'm a little quiet compared to Atomic and Osiris. All right. Thank you, Swoop, for letting me know. That is an easy adjustment.
Swoop.
Or am I still kind of quiet, Swoop, or am I all right? Wait, something... Holy shit. Something is auto-adjusting my volume.
That would be Skype.
Yep. You got to go into the settings and turn that off.
All right. Holy shit. I'm like looking at PAVU control. It was 60%, and then all of a sudden it was 80%. I'm like, what? There's a ghost moving my slider. What the fuck?
It's that Microsoft Ghost.
Right?
Ooh.
Fucking Microsoft. All right. Under options, under sound devices, allow Skype to automatically adjust. There we go.
No.
All right. Yeah, don't allow, you fucker. Let's see, where is my other Skype window? Where is it? Okay, guys, you can fill in the silence.
Needs more screens.
Right? Let's see.
I'll while you're doing that, I mean, is the video running? Everything's good?
Yes, yeah.
Except for you?
Yep, correct.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and do this, the next topic, which is Rich, hopefully I'm not butchering his name, it looks German, Rich Geldreich, who is was the head and developer of Valve's OpenGL debugger and did tons of work on the Portal 2, Dota 2, CS:GO ports to Linux. He's a industry bigwig, I guess you could say, as far as OpenGL and gaming goes. Had some pretty harsh words to say about the state of Linux gaming and the state of OpenGL. Let me see if I can. Here's a quick quote. Sadly, it's pretty clear that if you run these games with Linux, your experience isn't going to be as good, and you'll be getting less gaming value versus Windows. So that pretty much sums up how the creator of Valve's OpenGL debugger and a huge supporter of open source feels about the current state of Linux gaming. And in all honesty, take the gloves off. He's pretty much right. But he goes on to explain himself that the reasons are pretty complex and not black and white. But he also points the fingers at Aspire, and who's the other main developer, porter? Why can't I think of it right now? Anyways, he's saying that they're not doing as much as they could be doing either, which I don't know. And then he points the fingers at Intel, saying their driver situation is ridiculous. And are they afraid of pissing off Microsoft? Or is this just a result of big corporation dysfunctionalism? He has words for everybody.
Damn, he's coming out swinging.
Well, I guess he
left Valve. Where did he go? Do you know, or do we know?
He says in his spare time he works on open source lossless and texture compression projects. So I don't know where he went.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what he's currently doing.
Right, but the point is he left Valve.
Yes, he did.
Which is a huge proponent of Linux gaming. So,
well, he's even saying in this article, he's even saying that Valve only did what Valve did. Well, he's saying the main reason Valve did what they did is because they were staunchly opposed to Microsoft closing off the gates, the financial gates to the Microsoft operating system. So basically, they were trying to make everything store based through the Microsoft Store, and
Sure, yeah.
that's obviously a huge conflict to Valve. Since they backpedaled that on that policy in Windows 10, I was going to call it Windows 9 because why would I ever call it Windows 9? But since they backpedaled on that policy, he's saying that Valve will also backpedal on the support of SteamOS because they got what they wanted. Because and also if that plays kind of a part into this is he's saying that there was not a Dell but Alienware shipped a PC that booted straight into SteamOS. So in a way, the open source community, Linux, pushed Microsoft into a corner and made them do what they wanted them to do with Valve's help. And now that Valve got what they wanted, Microsoft is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Valve's going to make their money, and Linux will kind of just be left holding the pieces. I don't really understand what his angles are in this, but there's a lot of finger pointing and name dropping on this by this guy.
Yeah.
And he's not just some like random off the internet. He's
right. Yeah.
It's not easy to get into Valve and be at the level he was at, so he definitely probably made some waves.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, the ears that needed to hear it, heard it and took it as constructive criticism, or took it and hopefully do something with that information to make the gaming on Linux and OpenGL and whatever better. That's what I'm hoping, right? I mean, isn't that what we're all hoping?
Well, this is what he says. SteamOS's job is done. When no one was looking, Steam took Microsoft and snapped it like a twig. We'll never know exactly what dark magics were invoked here, but in the blink of an eye, Valve routed Microsoft into a war nobody even realized was being fought. When Japan makes an anime out of this event, Gaben will point to Steve Ballmer and say, I don't know what the hell he's trying to say. It's some Japanese stuff. And Ballmer's head will implode without Gaben throwing a single visible punch. So I don't know. I don't know if I believe this, but that's what he says. SteamOS was nothing more than a ploy to get Microsoft to stop being stupid and trying to route everything like a tablet through app stores and making people. We'll see though, because we still haven't seen no SteamOS live in products in stores. So we'll see. Right. I really still don't understand the point of the Steam machines, but yeah, that's a whole different topic.
Well, I mean, I think if we could just quickly touch on that topic, I think the point is to get the a new gaming platform into the living room. At its highest kind of level. Don't you think that's what Valve's trying to do?
It's to increase the comfort of the PC master race, because let's face it, desk chairs aren't that comfortable.
But then again,
that could be one angle, yes.
I would also argue to say that anybody who's able to put together a i5, i7 system with at least a 760 and above and this and that and that and this, triple monitors, is also very smart enough to put together a micro ATX system and throw it under his TV. I don't. It just seems kind of weird.
Does the operating system, can you easily,
yes,
navigate Windows from your couch with a controller? I've
had an HTPC since 2002, 2001. There's ways to bypass the Windows desktop and never see it easily, very easily. So I don't know.
Control it with a controller. That's what I'm saying.
With a remote. Matter of fact, I think
not a remote.
A control, yeah. I mean, it's going to be it's going to take inputs pretty much the same. But yes, a controller, a remote, anything,
Okay.
and
Well,
not a remote keyboard, an actual remote controller.
yeah, yeah. I mean, with infrared or a USB dongle, that's a wireless receiver. I mean, I have one of those myself. An old ATI Radeon remote control. That actually It's not IR. It's actually wireless receiver, so you can transmit the codes through a wall. It doesn't need visual, whatever. But I mean, I think that's the main point, is just to get a gaming platform, in the living room, PC gaming platform in the living room, and Valve is doing it, with Linux at its base. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I mean, to your point, you're right. I mean, anybody that is serious about gaming, probably can already put together a rig and set up Windows so that it boots to a place where you can get to do your games from a couch. You're probably right, but I mean, I think the point of the Steam Machine is to get it for an average consumer who doesn't know all that stuff. I mean, big picture mode in Steam is pretty phenomenal. It does just work. I mean, that's my opinion. It at least with my Xbox 360 controller, it just works. It automatically finds it, and all the buttons work. And I mean, I don't know.
Oh, he also goes on to heavily criticize Xorg and stuff like that, that's something I've had a major problem with for a long time. Why don't they update and upgrade the subsystem?
Right, the
Linux.
graphics subsystem. I would totally agree. I mean, yeah, X server has been around. We're at version 1.15, I think. I think 1.16 is released, but I don't know what distros are using it yet. But yeah, it's so antiquated and old that anything that they do to improve it is basically a Band-Aid. I think Wayland and Murr are trying to redo the graphics subsystem from the base, and I think, I don't know, have you guys tried any Wayland distros yet, or have you tried Wayland as your display server?
I have not.
I think it's still not there. I think you can get it, but I don't think that's something you want to try at your own risk, I think.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, anybody watching the show, sound off in the comments if you've tried a Murr or Wayland, distro, or if you've changed Xorg to be Wayland or Murr, in your current Linux distribution, and let us know. All right, Parameter Z Linux. Or Parameter Z Linux has tried Wayland with KDE 5. And how did it... what graphics card were you using? It's going to take 30 seconds, so it's going to be tough to interact with him, so... But, just sound off in the comments how your experience was with Wayland, and... this guy does bring up some good points, this rich guy, and hopefully, like I said, the right people hear what he had to say, and take it with a grain of salt and try to make improvements versus just perceiving it as attacks and, disregarding everything he has to say. Like
I'm
you
sure
said,
they
this
will.
Isn't just no slouch, so hopefully, yeah exactly.
He created, Valve is the industry, I mean, they're not the industry leader. Valve is the leader right now as far as making ports happen. And without Valve, you probably would have never seen Intel nor NVIDIA get their drivers in order for the Linux desktop. The Valve OpenGL debugger is why the Valve games work so well in Linux, and maybe some of the other ones do not work as well. He did a lot, and he's part of all that. He did a lot of work.
I'm sure that he probably had some hand possibly in creating the VOGL perf, which is Valve's custom FPS counter. which runs in as like a server type thing, and it tracks all of the frames per second for any OpenGL application, which is cool.
Yeah, that's part of the debugger.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, he's respected. It's obvious that he came to a difference of opinion at Valve and left before he got kicked.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But I think a lot of people that talk about Linux like to say, yes, this is what's great about it. That's what we all do when we want to talk about something that we like. But sometimes we need to get some things fixed, and we're never going to get them fixed if nobody ever talks about them. So I enjoy when somebody, especially a respected member, comes out and says what they have to say. So hopefully somebody listens and goes and gets this fixed. Wayland needs to hurry up and come around. That's what I want. I don't care about Mir. I think Mirror's in a working state also, Xmirror and Mirror. I've seen benchmarks on it. So obviously that's a thing too, but I don't care about that. I want to see Wayland.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. I mean, since we're kind of talking about graphics, it kind of segues perfectly into our next topic, which is some big performance gains for the Linux Intel driver. So, any GPU or iGPU that's in a CPU, apparently this company called Lunar G has Lunar G, in cooperation with Intel, has discovered a very, very important performance fix for the DRM driver that's going to significantly boost the OpenGL performance for Haswell HD graphics on Linux. Now, it specifically does have Haswell in quotes, so I don't know if this is only applicable to the iGPU that's in the Haswell CPUs, which would be the HD 4600. I don't know. I would think that the Intel driver, encompasses all of the Intel iGPUs, but I could be wrong. This Lunar G has been working on it for the last. It says they've been working on it for the last 8 months. They've been working to improve the Intel Mesa driver specifically for Steam games and graphics benchmarks. During the time, they worked with Intel and Valve to release a number of improvements that have gone back into the Mesa main development branch. However, there's a handful of items that were considered too invasive to change, and they did not incorporate those. And it's called Glassy Mesa. But basically, using these additional improvements, they supposedly were able to increase Left 4 Dead 2 by 17 to 25%. Counter-Strike Go, they saw a 16 to 20% performance increase. And Lightsmark increased on a GT2, which is, the 4770. It improved by 60%. Lightsmark must be a benchmarking tool, right? I've never actually used it. Have you guys?
I've never heard of it before.
It's a lighting benchmark. It's apparently been around since 2008. I'm looking at Lightsmark. Anyway, it's a multi-platform benchmark / demo, real-time global illumination, and penumbra shadows. But anyway, they saw a 60%, improvement utilizing these extra fixes that they, haven't been able to incorporate into the main development branch just because they were considered too invasive. Let's see. It says with Glassy Mesa, they were able to bring the benefit of LLVM to Intel's shader compiler stack and see significant improvements in the instructions generated.
Well, I'm kind of wishing now that I could get some use out of my Intel graphics. That's the problem of running discrete cards. You can't use the Intel graphics very well.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm still working on it, but all I've got still is a kind of a useless other desktop.
It says the Intel DRM driver in Linux is the place to set that correctly, so a kernel patch is needed in order to see the base bottleneck addressed. Then you can get yourself a Glassy Mesa driver and see the improvements as well. So, I don't know, this Lunar G, has found some stuff about the Intel driver that, can make it some massive improvements. Now, I'm not exactly sure how to get your hands on this code base and get it, working on your system. So you're going to have to do your own investigation to figure out how to do that. But it's basically look up Glassy Mesa project, basically, and you might be able to figure out how to get the i915 driver, which is the Intel driver in Linux. Comes in the Linux kernel already, working with your integrated graphics card for if you want some 3D gaming and 3D hardware acceleration, basically.
Wait a week.
It says
it'll be in the AUR.
Lunar G actually made a branch available on Lunar G's GitHub repository containing the code. So there you go.
Yeah, wait a week, it'll be in the AUR. Wait another week, and there'll be a PPA.
I don't know. Let's see. Glassy Mesa has progressed to the point where you can trace two different frames from their trace. Well, anyway, so I thought I would share that with you guys. I think currently, though, if you're running a Debian-based Linux distribution and you don't have a discrete graphics card and you want to do some 3D accelerated graphic stuff like gaming or whatever else, I would strongly suggest checking out the OABAF or OABAF PPA. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but basically that PPA provides updated and optimized open source drivers. So it doesn't only provide updated and optimized drivers for Intel, it also does it for the open source Nouveau driver, which is for NVIDIA, and as well as the Radeon SI driver, or the Radeon driver. So this OABAF PPA it's great if you're looking for open source solution to your graphics driver, and you want better performance than what's coming by default in your your distribution. You just enable this PPA and then do a sudo apt-get update and a sudo apt-get dist-upgrade, and it'll update all of the Mesa libraries and graphics stack to run this latest Mesa and xserver-xorg-video-intel and xserver-xorg-video-ATI. It'll update all your packages and libraries so that you're getting this better performance. So that's something to check out if you're not looking to use proprietary drivers for your graphics stack and you want better drivers. Check out the OABAF PPA. It provides updated Mesa and whatnot. All right. So let's see. What do we got for topics that are left? We have Insurgency. And Insurgency is a first-person shooter It's built on Valve's Source engine, and it was originally slated for Linux, but now their plans, they aren't so clear anymore. And the reason is because apparently Valve needs to give the developer a code for Linux support, and they have to integrate their code into the new engine version. So I guess the thing that's holding this game from coming to Linux is Valve. Valve is holding this up. It's basically on Valve to share their updated code with the developer so that, they can get Insurgency on Linux. I don't know, did you guys hear about this?
I did not.
Have you guys ever heard of Insurgency at all?
Yes, I've heard it. I've played it.
Have you? Okay, you played it in Windows, obviously.
Yeah, it's a Battlefield 4-ish type of game, I guess you could say, but mixed with Counter-Strike. It's the best way I could put it. It's okay. It's fun. But if they're waiting on Valve to do something, yeah, that'll never happen. I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for this.
It's because the engine is based on CSGO code drop from October of 2012, which only supports Windows and OS X. It only contains Linux-related code for the dedicated server. So it was also around the same time that Valve started doing Linux ports of their own games, and they were always under the impression, the developers of Insurgency, they were under the impression that that Valve would provide the necessary source code for Linux, something they have not done yet, and they have told us that they aren't ready to do yet, and that's probably why it was dropped from the store page. So apparently, once Valve gives them the necessary tools to port it to Linux, once Valve gives them the necessary code that they need, the updated CSGO code, they'll be able to get Insurgency on Linux. So this does seem kind of weird, doesn't it? Like Valve is holding up a game from being released on Linux. Doesn't that seem counterproductive?
No, I don't see it that way. What I see is they created a mod, which happens a lot under Source.
Yep.
But they did it in anticipation of Valve doing something, and like we don't need to explain to anybody. Valve works on their own time. That's why it's called Valve time. So I don't understand what they were expecting. So I mean, that's on them. If I was spending my time making a game, I would make sure all my ducks were in a row, and not hoping for something, because this is a business, of course.
Right, and this is actually, a competitor, basically, to CSGO, or to any, Valve first-person shooter. It's a competitor, right? It could take away market share from Valve.
Nah. CSGO is a competitive game. Like, it's out there to be a competitive game. This game is not even on that level. It's not close.
Okay.
I must have heard of this game before because it's on my wish list.
So they put, the developers of Insurgency have stated, let's see, Valve used to care about their source licenses, but this is barely the case these days, and that sucks for us. I'm still somewhat confident that a Linux port will happen at some point, whether it's through our own doing or by merging a code drop from Valve. But we are really a small team, so supporting the game through updates and content patches currently takes the priority.
Right.
So basically, what this article was, it was from Gaming on Linux, the article was, and, they're just saying, basically, don't hold your breath, if the Insurgency developers are waiting for something from Valve, don't hold your breath.
Well, first of all, I think the Insurgency guys might be pointing the finger for no reason. He's saying that the Valve people might not care about their licensing. LGC says in the chat it's because they're holding off on the Source Engine 2. which makes a lot more sense. Once again,
Valve
I think
is
these
holding
guys
off what?
they're holding off on updating their source licensing and the source stuff because of Source Engine 2,
Okay, gotcha.
which makes much more sense. And with that information, I think these guys did something, and now they're kind of torqued about it because they
It didn't
can't
play
finish.
out the way that they
Yeah.
wanted it to. Right. They probably didn't communicate properly with Valve, and and now they want something from Valve, and Valve is just like, well, what the heck? We're not going to provide you this because we're doing this, like what Linux Gamecast said was we're doing Source Engine 2, whatever. So I don't know. It was originally on the on the Steam page, I believe. Originally slated for Linux support, but it's been silently dropped, basically. So, if
That
you're
never
waiting
happens.
if you're waiting for Insurgency to come to Linux, don't hold your breath, basically. All right. There are some other topics, but I think we're going to wrap up the show here.
What
Before you do
topics?
that, I think everybody deserves to know that you can go to the GOG.com and get Mountain Blade for free, which was one of our topics.
Good
Everybody
call.
should.
Yep, I added that today. Yeah, the big DRM free. I mean, what the hell? We'll continue. I mean, I don't know why I was going to stop the show. We usually try to make it like an hour and 15 minutes max. That's kind of what we did our first show, so we kind of been sticking to that format. But due to some technical issues in the beginning and the new format, and just because we're all still here and we're having fun, let's continue the show. So the next topic is there's a huge DRM free sale on GOG. So go check it
Yes.
out.
Mountain Blade is free, but it's not Mountain Blade Warband. Warband is the one that's Linux compatible. This is the original Mountain Blade that's for free. So I don't know if that's a thing for you or not, but it's free. So
Yeah, and apparently for the next 48 hours, and this started 11 hours ago, so you got 31 minutes. I'm sorry, whatever. You got you don't have a lot of time left, basically. Whatever 48 minus 11 is, 37. You got 37 hours left to get 90% off of 700 plus titles. There you go. That is a huge sale on GOG.com. If you've never heard of GOG.com, not quite sure why you're here at the show. This is Linux Tech and Gaming. GOG.com is a huge website, that promotes DRM-free gaming, and they're slowly, pushing into the Linux environment. Not slowly, but they're possibly coming out with this GOG Galaxy, which is similar to the Steam client. So GOG is huge. Go check out their website, GOG.com. They got this huge sale, DRM free, big fall sale. So if you're interested in some games and you don't got a lot of scratch in your pocket, definitely go check it out.
And if you do have any scratch in your pocket, you won't.
Yeah, you won't anymore, right? Let's see here. Gather 7. Let's see. Finally, more free stuff. Visit us daily and collect special stamps on our front page. If you gather 7 of them, you'll receive a copy of CD Projekt Red's flagship RPG, The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings, and a brilliant movie, The Gamer's Director's Cut, absolutely for free.
well, that's interesting.
Yeah, if you want The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings for free, apparently just visit the website daily and collect special stamps on their front page, and you gather 7 of them, boom, you got The Witcher 2 for free. Now, The Witcher 2, The Assassin's Kings, running in Linux, I don't know if we want to go there. Basically, it runs what?
Now, from what I remember, I might be wrong, but from what I remember, the Witcher 2 on GOG's site, or is it Steam? One of the two was getting updates faster than the other one, so one might actually run better. But yeah, I already own this game.
Yeah,
so.
I do too. Yeah, I mean it's a good game. I will say it runs good on my machine. That's because I have an NVIDIA card. I have a GTX 760, and it does run inside of a wrapper. And you know, there's a lot of controversy about the Eon wrapper and it running. But, you know, if you're interested in the game, I will say be wary if you just have, you know, an Intel integrated graphics card, or if if you have an AMD card, you might want to stay clear of this game, or just check the Steam forums, you know, for the game, and read up on what people are saying for you know, either AMD or Intel. Osiris, did you play this game in Linux on your 290X or no?
I wasn't even going to do myself like that. Hell no. I didn't try it on the 290X. I specifically waited until it got the bug fixes, and I got rid of the 290X to try this game. Because I couldn't even get Last Light to work, and I was already super frustrated.
Yeah, I hear you.
As far as Intel goes, it didn't matter what settings you gave it, what resolution you ran it at. It was pretty consistently about 9 or 10 frames a second, at best. If you got a bunch of shit on screen, no, it was like 2 frames a second.
Parameterized Linux. Yes, GOG has native Linux games.
Parameterized? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. But yes, there is native Linux games there. Yes. Quite a few too.
Yeah. I mean, they're, you know, a great, supposedly DRM free, you know, site to buy games from. So, yeah. All right. That covers that topic. The huge fall sale at GOG.com. Definitely check it out.
Don't spend too much money though, because you know who else is going to have a sale pretty soon.
They'll be having the Steam fall sale or winter sale. Fall sale probably already happened for Steam. Yeah, it'll be the winter sales next.
I don't think there's really much of a fall sale. I think
there wasn't one. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Last year there was a big one.
More summer and winter.
Yeah, actually, I do remember the fall sale last year, Osiris. I picked up a ton of games from it. Yeah, I remember that.
It was a full-fledged fall sale last year.
I think I even maybe created a YouTube video on it. But anyway, so let's see. Moving on to the next topic, we have... we have KDE has just released probably the last update for KDE 4, most likely. They've released the Applications and Platform 4.14.3 to the masses. So, you know, if you're running any distribution and have KDE installed, which I actually do, I run KDE inside my Arch install, I'll be able to update, you know, all of my applications and base KDE system to 4.14.3. Now, you know, you're probably asking, well, what do you mean in updates? What kind of updates you get? Well, you know, supposedly there was more than 50 recorded bug fixes, including improvements to the email client, Kmail, improvements to Umbrello, the UML modeler, the document viewer, Ocular, and the RSS application aggregator, as well as the default file manager, Dolphin. And, you know, and many more improvements. So, you know, anybody running, basically running KDE 4, you know, this is probably going to be the last big update, you know, because KDE 5, I believe, you know, is totally taking over. You got KDE Frameworks 5 and KDE Plasma and KDE Applications. That's the the new route that the KDE devs are going is, it's totally different than KDE 4. It's more modular, and it's different. So this article on Softpedia just basically points out that that this update is most likely going to be the last update for KDE 4 that you're going to see.
Kubuntu 15.04, I assume it is. Will be using KDE 5. Okay. And Ubuntu is slow to adapt to anything. So
right.
Once they got it, you're pretty sure KDE 4 should be dead by then.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is a much smoother transition from KDE 5 to KDE 5 than it was from KDE 3.
Yeah.
Because that was the worst. It was the same as GNOME.
Was it? I wasn't. The first I've ever really tried KDE was right now in my Arch install. I had tried a Canopix live CD back in the day, but otherwise I stayed away from KDE because I usually had lower end hardware and just couldn't run the demanding prettiness of KDE. But now I will say, on my i5 system, it freaking KDE and Arch, man, awesome combination. I'm loving my Arch installation. Love it.
Yeah, basically when KDE 4 came out, I'm not going to say just like GNOME, but everything was broken. And it was broken through 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. I think I abandoned ship about 4.3 because I couldn't take it anymore. But it took them a long time to hammer like major issues with KDE. But KDE 5 was looking good, and one of the guys in the chat said he tried KDE 5. He did answer your question. Did you ask him what graphics card was he using?
Yeah, I saw the answer. Yep, he was using a 650, right? 680.
Yeah.
Yeah, and KDE 5 with Wayland.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's cool. That's I'm ready for KDE 5. I just don't want to jump. I don't want to be the first person on that train now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that it's probably available in Arch, but I just installed like the base KDE system in my Arch install from the main repository. I just did, Pacman-S KDE base, so just install the most minimal KDE. And anyway, I'm really enjoying KDE. So if you've never checked it out, give it a try in your Linuxes. They got some pretty pictures here. Let's do one last screen sharing here. Let's see if this works. What the hell is that? All right, there we go. So here's the pretty KDEs.
Yellow swag. I think you coined it. Did you? Is that your word, Ubu? Yellow swag?
YOLO swag? No, that word's been around before me.
I've never.
It's big in like the Call of Duty tweens that are all over the console. The consoles.
Looks like KDE 4.
This is KDE 4. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about
we were talking about
KDE
5.
No, we weren't. I mean, Osiris did talk about KDE 5, but this article that I'm talking about is the last big update to KDE 4, which is 4.14.3. So I just thought I would show, some of the updated pictures, whatever.
Well, KDE 5 honestly doesn't look that much different either. There's from the user standpoint, you're not getting a major change. It's mostly the framework that matters for KDE 5 and the underlinings. All they did was they got new pretty icons and a new default skin for KDE 5, Breeze, which does look much better. Shit, how long has KDE 4 even been out? So it's been a long time since they've updated their default.
6 or 7 years, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Has it been that long? Holy shit.
Yeah, 4 came out before I started using Linux regularly. 2007, 2008, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 2008. It came out. The first stable release was 6 years ago. It says 2008. So I don't know. Some people say that Some people say that the KDE default skin is the ugliest shit that ever lived. Some people say it's gorgeous. I say I don't care because it's Linux. I'm gonna reskin it anyways because I never go with defaults.
Yeah. All right.
But I do run the Breeze on my KD4. Breeze is the KD5 default skin and icon set. I do run that, and
what's it called? Breeze?
Breeze.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, and I rather enjoy that. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much that does finally cover all. I don't see any other topics, right? I don't think there was any other topics. Nope. All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up for episode 12. Oh, I just noticed I find it ironic that the date is the 12th. And it's the 12th episode. Holy shit. Ooh.
The planets are going to align, right? And you're going to get some more YOLO swag.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell to the yes.
YOLO swag for the win.
Actually, you know what? I want to test real quick. Let's switch scenes and test this out here. Do you guys hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm asking the stream. Silly.
Yeah,
all right. So
testing.
Let's see here. We definitely know we need to fix the window in the other stream layout, the secondary background for screen sharing. I don't know, the resolution, the square that you put is too tall, and I don't know. But that's not a big deal. We can fix that. So it probably needs to be like around this size right here.
Your browser's the wrong size.
My browser is full screen. What do you mean?
That's the problem. Holy crap, I am loud.
I mean, why is that?
I can't see any of what you're doing.
Why is that the problem? No, I know you can, Osiris. I know.
All right. I didn't know if you was talking to me or not.
No. So if I make this, let's see, a little wider, that might work. Yeah, I guess that kind of works. Yeah, I had the browser full screened. Okay, there. I just had to make the browser different size. Now it kind of fits better with the whole show. But you guys can hear me, right? In the show? The podcast? I mean, our viewers? I'm asking our viewers, not you guys.
Well, I'm listening to the Hitbox, so...
Okay, so you can hear me in Hitbox. All right, well, that's good
news.
Yes,
but I am quite a bit louder than you, and probably Osiris as well.
Okay, well, nobody told us that in the feedback, so we'll keep that in advisement.
I guess they just love the sound of my voice.
That sexy radio voice.
I would have to... All right, don't say anything, Osiris. You talk, Atomic.
Hello.
All right, again.
Hello.
All right, there. You should be turned down. I turned you down in PABU control.
Yeah, take a snapshot of that so you don't forget it.
Right.
Because you will.
75% for you. I don't know. Osiris, how are the audio levels, guys, in the stream that are watching, the viewers? How are the audio levels? Osiris, talk.
Hello, talking, testing, doing things with mouth.
Doing things with mouth. And, yeah, how's the synchronization, guys? Like, is the audio in sync with my mouth moving? Because that's one thing, there was a huge bug in OBS where if I set a different preset for the FFmpeg preset, if I set something different than the default that OBS was using, which is very fast, and I would try to use medium or fast. Man, I had like a 2-second desynchronization issue where the audio was actually ahead of the video. And I spent like 2 full days debugging or providing, samples to the developer using, we were talking in their IRC channel, and he finally figured out the bug and got it all sorted. So now I'm able to use preset. I think I switched from medium because that was just taxing my CPU a little too much, and I switched to the fast preset. So now I'm at, let's see what my cores are at here.
Your voice is just slightly ahead, maybe 1/8 of a second.
How do I not have HTOP installed yet?
Just somehow. Who knows?
That is really weird. This is my fresh installation of Xubuntu. That's probably why. All 4 cores are right around 45%. Yeah. So that's why I ended up sticking with the preset that I did. So the stream hasn't replied back with, the audio levels are okay or they're not okay.
Austin says they're good.
Okay. All right.
LGC says level in Audacity. I'm not really sure what that means.
Yeah, we're not using Audacity. Oh, he's saying post-production. Sure. Yeah, that's understandable. I think we're more gonna be more so live show, than more focused on post-production. But yeah, we can certainly do whatever we want in post-production. That's the advantage, of cutting the show up and then re-edit or editing it and uploading it again, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge thing.
There's another thing there that he might mean, and that is that you can just do a quick throwaway recording prior to starting the stream and listen back to it, and you can hear what it sounds like and adjust levels until you get it right. So
now that's a good idea.
Wait, how would I use Audacity to record the show? What?
Just record it the way it's being streamed, maybe with an extra null sync, and then just record it, listen to it, adjust.
Oh, well, actually, you know what I could do? I could just open up VLC and play back my stream. Right now, I'm sending the stream to my NGINX server, which is then forwarding it to each of the 3 places, Twitch, Hitbox, and YouTube. So, yeah, that's actually a good idea, is do a little pre-show checking and everything. Thanks. That's a good suggestion. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for the show. I appreciate everybody's patience with our transition to the new format. And hopefully, the show was somewhat enjoyable for you to watch. We hope that you'll be back next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. And we hope to, further improve the show. I did want to get some feedback from you guys on the coloring of the background. Is it okay on the eyes? Is it too bright maybe, or too dark, or just was looking for some feedback in regards to the background. Positive and negative feedback is acceptable as long as it's constructive. So, put in the comments what your guys' opinion is on the colors. They were derived by Osiris, so if you say that they suck, then we can blame it on him.
I'm going to say you suck. I really don't care because I just stole it from somewhere, so whatever.
No, I actually like it. I think I like the background. Right. The colors... I don't know. I think we could go from a different color than orange, but right now it seems to work. Obviously, just waiting for feedback from everybody, and I haven't seen any yet, so I'm not sure. That delay, though, that lovely delay.
Yeah, I think my YouTube is.
Oh, that's hilarious, Atomic! One of your comments got actually blocked. What did you
Where?
put in on the YouTubes?
What did I put on YouTube?
You put Steambox has the upper hand with Steam sales. $1,000 has bought me 300 plus games.
That got blocked?
Yeah, it got blocked.
What?
NSA.
I just
Tinfoil
copied
hat.
and pasted it. I'm not sure why it got blocked. Let me check my settings for what's all being blocked.
It actually said it went.
Wait. Really? On mine it says it's blocked. Well, whatever.
I don't see nothing blocked.
Oh, you saw his comment?
I see every comment. I've seen every comment he posted.
About the Steambox, $1,000. From Atomic, not from the one I just copied or put there.
In YouTube?
Yeah.
Let me go back.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. On my end, it showed that it was blocked, so it doesn't matter. Whatever. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the show. Again, I appreciate everybody coming. You can check the description down below of this video for all of our social media handles. There's easy links to take you to the applicable pages so that you can follow us. And, again, thank you for coming. We appreciate each and every one of you as a viewer, and we look forward to growing with you guys. Tomic, you got anything to add about the, and the show?
Don't forget the YouTube channels. And I think we'll hit up Ubu after the show and have him put our streaming links in there as well.
Definitely. I can do that, yep. Osiris?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the new format. If you guys have any suggestions about anything, even stuff that you actually like topics or news or anything you want to talk about, or you want us to talk about, go ahead and contact us via Twitter. Probably the best way.
Yep.
If we already follow each other, you can also do DM if you feel like there's a need to. I don't have a problem with that personally. I don't know about you guys.
No, you can. Yeah, if I follow you, you can DM me. That's certainly fine. And then always don't forget about our Steam group. We do have a Steam group. I don't know really how. I'm unfortunately not that active in it, but I think it automatically shows what I'm playing and stuff. I think that's how the Steam group works. So if you're interested in joining our Steam group, there should be a link down below in our description for our Steam group. And that's going to do it for this week's show. Again, I appreciate all the viewers, and we will see you next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. Have a good night. We're out.
Well, it wasn't